Welcome back to a closer look. 2 open electorates of 6 recently concluded their by-elections to elect their members of parliament. Maprik open electorate seen Libet Capri successful, and Henry Amuli is now member-elect for Sohe open electorate. Here is reporter Samantha Solomon with more on the prospect.
The 2 elected members are Libet Capris for Maprik Open and Henry Amuli for Sohe Open. The by-election for 2 districts have been completed successfully last week. Of the 6 vacant seats in the parliament, 2 districts now have elected members who will represent their people on the floor of parliament. The reason being for Maprik Open, the elected member in 2022 National General Election passed away in August 2023. He represented his people of Maprik for a year at the floor of parliament. His seat is now taken over by his son, Libet Capris. For Sohe Open, the National Court declared the declaration of Henry Amuli null and void. Electoral Commissioner Simon Sinai commended his officers for completion of the 2 by-elections in record time. Sinai acknowledged Team Maprik led by Returning Officer David Wakies and Team Sohe led by Ms. Daisy Ombogani for the teamwork they put in to complete the election process. The issue of writs was on the 25th of April, nomination closed on 2nd of May, and the polling started on the 29th of May. The return of writs was supposed to be before the 18th of June, and they did complete the process on time. In a media address, Mr. Sinai noted that the recent by-elections were carried out using the LLG polling and LLG counting models, mainly for time management.
Signifies the completion of the elections of the 2 by-elections, Sohe open electorate and Maprik open electorate. We have now returned the writ, which means the election is officially completed and successfully, and now members being elected, and with the return of writ, meaning the members are going to join the political parties and the government or opposition to continue on, carry on with the services in the electorate. The second one was in the Vivek open by-election. We trialed that and we delivered that election in 5 days, counting. And so now these 2, the Maprik and the Sohe, complemented that and taken or replicate that idea to qualify this idea of counting on LLG base. So which means I want the people in Papua New Guinea to know and understand with me and the officers on the ground that it frustrates a lot of people when we delay the counting. So we are now, as the Electoral Commission from the East Office, we are using polling and counting arrangements and plans as the same. And after polling, we are counting directly, straight away after the poll. And after the poll, we want to deliver elections in 4 days, 5 days.
The 4 districts are yet to have their by-elections, and they are day open in Western Highlands Province, Pogera Paila in Enga Province, Usinobundi in Medeng, and Medeng Open. In the recent parliament sitting, member for Finsafen Open, Rainbow Paita, asked a question without notice to Prime Minister James Marape as to when the by-elections for the districts will be held. Paita explained that these people need someone to represent them at the floor of parliament, given the instance up in Mulitaka where the huge landslide took place.
Time leader karim keke go heavy, but leader sana belly says service come up. Lo people na place. Question blow me emosem. You mean your leader law here now, you got a couple of seats where you start free. Now you mean not making by-election yet. We hold very unique positions where you may hold him not people, we make them stop long house. Time of city free, those voices cannot be heard on the floor, Mr. Speaker. And in relation to the disaster that happened, we have a vacancy where the seat for Pogera Paela is still still vacant. Now Pogera being a very strategic asset where you make a mine inside, It's the melting point of people from Ella, Enga, even people from Sandown, Augustaplab. Now time leader come up, Navy come up, responsibly Mimi can go, but leader must have passed before government go. Question for me was one time, Mr. Prime Minister, truly you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, by me put him funding. Lawyer running by-elections so that leader must have a place na kare maybe place. That vacancy, you may go to Finsaveno na go plap. All other leaders will not go. My question to Mr. Prime Minister, and I think Minister assisting Prime Minister on Treasury Matters can take note. When we release funding for the by-election of several seats in this House, including for Pogora Paila, so they can have the leader on the floor to raise their concerns. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
In response, Prime Minister James Marape says a few districts are still undergoing court cases, and after the court cases are done, the by-elections will start.
There's about 6 seats, if I'm not wrong, that are still vacant. A few of the seats, there's a court case that are running attached to those seats, but we certainly will get by-elections done once we retire Maprik and Sohe. We'll move to the other 2 seats that are currently vacant. The reason why they were a little bit delayed in calling for the by-election, those seats were lost by the death of former members, and out of customary obligations, we had to allow the natural time for recover from a loss to take place. But certainly the Pogra Pila seat and the day seat, if the day seat, if it is totally released of the court case, then they will be in line for by-elections at the very earliest. As I said earlier, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I think day seat, Medang seat, the Kaboom seat, vacant seats that currently have some court cases running against them. In the context, by-elections could not be held at the very earliest. But for those who are totally free, once the 2 by-elections that are underway is totally retired, we will move to hold by-elections in the other seats that are vacant. Thank you.
However, Electoral Commissioner also mentioned that with the consideration of LLG elections and the national census, the remaining by-elections will have to be put off to an appropriate time.
We have plans. We have, because of the LLG election and the census, we put the 3 off. So after the census, we will talk about the 3 by-elections. So we'll see how the LLG preparations go. Not promised, but they are already allocating some money, so we're doing preparations. So it's in the process.
We will now take a quick break, and when we return, we will delve into the subject of mitigating the causes of pollution through the sustainable practice of recycling.